Adam. Who was the other one? There was a third one I thought that was.
Black Mana, Black
Oh,
Adam.
was Mongol in this one? Is he one of them? That's I don't know who was on the planet where the
Starro.
Green. Oh yeah, Starro. They've all made deals with the Dark.
Yeah. And they were actually said that the planet. So basically, the way they put it is when a planet's dying, it sinks, it lowers.
Yeah,
And they're saying that the prime Earth universe is lowering and sinking, and it's almost to that point of no return.
yeah,
So all the Justice League are at different places. Aquaman's with Deathstroke, where at the center of the Earth, where they find a combination of like Atlantean and other machinery.
yeah, and that's where they encounter Black Manta
Um,
and battle
yeah.
ensues there.
Wonder Woman is trying to find the mace of Carter Hall, and that's where she's fighting Black Adam, but also Hawk Woman
Yeah,
is still brainwashed.
yeah. And what is she? She calls herself something. What is that? She calls herself in.
Lady Darkhawk.
Yeah, she's got a new. She's got like a new identity. She's possessed.
Yeah, and then Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern are on New Thanagar, which is taken over by Starro, who has taken the Plastic Man egg.
Yeah. And I was thinking, is that just like his henchman? I was thinking that was like that one guy, the Mongol or whatever, that was working with him. But I'm not. Maybe I got that wrong.
Yeah, I don't. I'm pulling it up right now.
Because he's got the Plastic Man egg under his arm. Couldn't figure out who that guy was.
Yeah, but so they're all different places, and there's just so much to talk about in this one. It's hard for me to catch my train of thought because there's.
Well, that's where doesn't Mr. Terrific say it? Like, ask why, or no? He tells Green Lantern why
Yeah,
Plastic Man is so
yeah,
important.
yeah. Green Lantern says, "Plastic Man, we came here for the nth metal, Mister Terrific. What's so damn special about this guy anyway?" To which Mister Terrific goes, and I quote, "Eel O'Brien wasn't special. He was just a thief. One night he fell into a vat of chemicals. My best guess, some attempt by the Owls or Star Labs to approximate cosmic metals. Now his molecular structure changes with his desires. His body is a superconductor for cosmic energies, which is why they're after him. Since dark energy started rising, the nightmares of every living thing run through his head, trying to pull him towards evil. But he kept helping me. When the thoughts finally became too much, he retracted into that egg. He's fighting off millions of dark impulses every second. He's a hero and my friend."
So yeah, so he's they're definitely going to use him as for some sort of like amplification of of the weapon or the battery or whatever they're because
Well,
the battery is not moving at full efficiency because Clark escaped from the battery and him and Bruce Wayne have gotten loose and are at the forge. So the plan isn't exactly what Barbados wants. It's not because they even mentioned in the beginning of it when he's talking to the Batman who laughs. He's like the Superman is free of the battery, and this could be a problem. And if they find the other pieces of the metal, it could, like they're saying that and he's kind of trying to reassure him at the beginning that the plan's not falling apart. So it's very tense what's going on right now. It seems hopeless for the heroes. It seems like there might have been a little slip up in the plan at the beginning of the book, but then by the end of it, it's like they're like, well, you did exactly what we wanted. You brought all the pieces right where we asked you to bring them.
well, close to the end of the book, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter, who was on New Thanagar, helped him escape.
Yeah, which is kind of a miraculous thing. A little bit. I got to suspend a little disbelief there
Bit.
because he just pops up out of nowhere.
But they're at the Phoenix Cannon, and this cannon is designed to, in the words, It's designed to brighten nth metal at the core of the Earth should the planet ever begin to sink into the dark. If we can activate it, we might be able to raise the planet. Well, they realized that the entirety of the cannon has been reversed. So instead of brightening the nth metal, it's going to darken it. And then you get text from the Batman Who Laughs, and it shows the cannon firing into the Earth's core, and he goes, "Now the egg will power the reversed cannon." Which there's only one egg I think of, and that's Plastic Man's egg.
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, they said he's like he can amplify shit, and he can absorb cosmic energies and shit.
So they're using Plastic Man to
which means they're gonna. Did they announce he's gonna he's coming back into the mainstream DC universe? He's gonna
be in the Terrifics book. He's gonna be in the New Age of DC Heroes Terrifics book.
So they're obviously gonna break him out of the egg in this. So my theory is that they're gonna somehow reverse it, and he's gonna have to absorb all that shock and darkness from the Earth into his body somehow, and it's gonna just crack him open.
Yeah. Great battles in this. Wonder Woman fighting Black Adam and Lady Darkhawk.
Pretty action packed. The metal's been pretty action packed really from the start. Like even the one shots of the Dark Knights, they were all pretty. This has been pretty heavy series, man. Yeah. Metal is the perfect highlight. It's almost like another perfect run by Snyder Capullo. Like their 5-6 year Batman run was almost nearly flawless, and now a flawless event. Except for that Martian Manhunter thing.
Well, I really enjoyed the part with where the Batman Who Laughs shows up. He shoots Wonder Woman, and he's like, "These bullets are made of fifth metal, which is the same thing that your invisible jet's made out of." And then he goes, "Do you have that in this universe?"
Yeah.
You know. And then he
goes on to tell her about all the different Wonder Womans and Batmans.
And we actually get to see some dark Wonder Women later on in the book. Like one is like Cheetah and these others, because Barbados is some of the army.
Yeah, they're starting to come through, and it's like weird demonic versions of the Justice League and different villains and stuff. This weird demons and shit.
Batman and Superman find a spark in the forge. There's so much, but it's really good. The artwork by Greg Capullo is on par once again. It is just fantastic once again.
Yeah, Capullo's one of my top, if not my top favorite artists, like current young generation. Well, not really young, but I mean he's been around a while. But I mean still one of the new generation, like Image, new generation type artist guys. That one of my top favorites. And never disappoints. I haven't really seen bad art from Greg Capullo.
There are those that are claiming this is just like a big this is just an all oh look how great Batman is. They're really, some people aren't liking the story. I'm absolutely enjoying metal.
I think that they've really shown Batman on all that positive of a light. Really, I mean, and he's right now he's like 80 years old.
Well, and in other factors, you see these other world Batman and how far they have fallen into darkness.
It's and they're not doing it on their own. They've accepted an evil superpower or created it themselves somehow. They're not like they're not Bruce Wayne per se. They're really twisted versions of Bruce Wayne that have stolen powers from people and done horrible things. And you got in the multiverse, of course, there's going to be universes where Batman's a bad guy. They've encountered them on Super Friends before.
Yeah. I am going to have to give this one as my Renegade pick of the week.
Oh yeah, it's good. Oh, I'll counter it. It was excellent. It's not a slam towards metal. Every bit as excellent as it's from beginning to so far. That we're one issue away from the end, I believe. 6 is the end.
We still have Wild Hunt to come on. We have Wild Hunt, which will be another one shot, and then we'll have the final issue of Metal.
Yeah, so we got one more of the series proper coming. That's should wrap everything up. But what I've noticed with Doomsday Clock, I don't know what they're pushing. They're pushing that back another month, I think. And then like stuff that's happening after Doomsday Clock is happening currently. Like, Flash is talking about the time displacement and stuff with Iris, and like stuff with Doomsday Clock that's going on is like I don't know if it's like I don't know how it's taking place. The timeline's getting kind of weird for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but I do have a contender for my book of the week.
Go ahead.
It's not. The Flash annual this month. I think you should get this one because this is a Wally West issue.
Okay.
And it's dealing with the time stream and how things get fucked up. And they're fighting Cyclone, I think it is, one of the rogues at the beginning. And he's got both Wally West with him. He's got New 52 Wally West, and he's got old school Wally West with him, Barry Allen. And they're fighting Cyclone, and then they defeat him and everything. They knock him off balance and defeat him. But Wally West gets pissed off at Barry Allen for not. He didn't tell old Wally West that Iris killed Reverse Flash with a black hole gun a few issues back, and so he didn't. Barry he didn't tell Wally that she had done that, and Wally still hasn't talked to her. She doesn't know he exists yet, that he's back, and hasn't had anything to do with her. And he's like, really, Barry. They tried to encourage him to go talk to Iris West, or to talk to Iris, and Iris, and so he gets pissed off and he runs off and everything, and he thinks he's like all lonely and shit, and doesn't understand how he was able to break out, and why he's even there, because he doesn't have a face, like nobody remembers him, and he's not himself. He feels distant from everybody. So he goes to find Magenta, because he grew up with her in his hometown, and she had magnetic powers and shit, and they were on the Titans or whatever, and they were friends. But she's the new Magenta, and she doesn't remember her former life. She's like in college or whatever, and she's doing I don't know if she's teaching at college or she's in college, but she's like leading a normal life. She doesn't remember Wally West. He stops her on the street, and he says, "Hey, I know I know you. We grew up together or whatever." And then somehow he says something about the town that they grew up in, and it triggers her, and she just full on goes supervillain in the middle of the street and starts fucking shit up. And so he actually grabs her and takes her out to where they grew up, to this place way out in the country. He takes her way out there, and he like calms her down, and then she kind of snaps back, and she's like a hero again, like the hero version of herself again. So it kind of tells me that all the people that forget, and all the New 52 people, it's still someone has just altered the timeline, but people still have their memories are locked for some reason. Like certain people are remembering things. Like Barry was able to remember Wally West, and Magenta is able to remember Wally West. And but it takes some kind of triggering to get them to remember. So this is kind of tying into the timeline from Doomsday Clock, how time's been altered. It's tying into Wally West. He eventually, at the end, he has no money, and since he has no existence in this world, he has no money or a job or anything. So he calls Dick, and Nightwing gets him an apartment. And he's like, "Hey, thanks for helping me get this apartment. I don't have any money or anything." And he's like, "Oh, don't make me thank Bruce for leaving his platinum card lying around the Batcave." So he just basically stole money from Bruce to buy Wally West an apartment. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty good. And then you find out at the end that Professor Zoom is back, and he's actually in the 25th century or wherever the Flash Museum of the Future is, and he's actually kind of running the show, and he's ordered them the future. They're called they're like the rogues, people with rogues powers in their costumes, but they work for the law in the future. Uh-huh. So he sends them after Iris because he's going to actually hold her responsible for killing Eobard Thawne in the future. They're bringing Iris from the past in for questioning into the future, and it's supposed to. I don't know. I can't remember when it says it at the end of the issue, but it's setting up the Flash War basically. So there's a big event coming up with Flash that I'm into. So I will pick that just to differ from your vote for metal.
Okay.